Hey guys, Kevin, 8 o'clock tomato talk. Hey, I made a boo-boo. I did a video on September 28th, I believe it was, and forgot to release it. So we had a big family gathering here, a reunion at this house of ours. First time we'd opened it up to anybody. Pretty much been fixing this place up, doing gardens and stuff all year. And I just let the video slip for a while. Anyway, from September 28th, I'm going to be showing you this video right now. And of course, I'm going to follow up. I need to follow up with a video of this same 5x3 that you're going to see in this video very soon to show you a new update because the plants are getting huge. And the last video I did on the 5x3s, they're just so tiny, the beets are. You're going to be amazed at what you see on this September 28th one even. So enjoy this, guys, and be looking for a new one coming out very soon, updating the one you're about to see. And please hit that subscribe button, guys. I'm up to like 23 viewers or subscribers, so I'm really excited about that. So we're going to keep building this thing one viewer at a time. So thanks so much. Enjoy this slightly dated version of the 5x3 on 8 o'clock tomato talk. Stepping off the porch stoop. Hey guys, Kevin, 8 o'clock tomato talk, September 27th. Fall's here. Crazy. It really came with a booming thud this year and right on cue. The last day of summer, 95 for the high, I think, just murderously hot. And it was hot on and off, really hot on and off. We had two bad heat waves here in southern Indiana, zone 6B, by the way. So last day of summer, last week, it was 95. A cold front came in that night. The next day, it was like 74, 75, 20-degree drop right there, just overnight, and fall was here. So here we are. Let's do I think it's our 7th or 8th visit to this 5x3 raised bed. We've kind of been making this a case study, if you will. Coming up, I'm going to be doing a new thing for me. You see all these leaves in here? Hardly any soil in there. There's maybe 20 pounds of soil in that whole bed, and it's already half full. That's an 8x3. Yeah, an 8x3. A gentleman, his video channel is called I Am Organic Gardening, is what it's called. Great guy, really knowledgeable. He's in Virginia, I believe. No, sorry, New Jersey. And he's got some really good stuff. And I'm going to go with his cue, his suggestion, and I'm going to show you what we're doing with these leaves and a little bit of grass clippings and just a little bit of soil, and then topping it off with a cover crop on the top. We'll get into that cover crop stuff here when we get into that bed in the next week or two. Let's talk about the 5x3, guys. Here we are, round 7 or 8, and things are going good. So remember, we had 3 tiers we were doing when I laid all those seeds out in the front of the bed on one of the first videos I did with the 5x3. Starting with, we had to get into the ground the stuff that's going to take the longest first, the 60 and 70 day stuff, carrots, lettuce, which didn't do too good this year. I've grown some great Paris Island in California. I mean, 15, 16-inch heads harvested and just tender. I'm not doing so good with it so far. We'll see how it goes. But carrots were the first round, lettuce, and beets. Those 3 had to get in there first. And so we're going to show you the second and third tier, really up close and personal here. So, first of all, look at the beets back here. Fantastic. These are about ready for me to start harvesting. And you know, with beets, they're a dual purpose crop. You can obviously eat the roots, but you can also snip, like, not quite half, but a good quarter or so of the outside leaves, and you can saute those up. You can add them fresh to salad or whatever. And then you're allowing the plant to continue to grow, to continue to make that beetroot bigger. And then you can just harvest that thing when it gets to be, plum size, a little bit bigger than golf ball size. And they'll still be wonderful, tender, a second round of vegetable from one plant. So yeah, you can harvest those leaves right away. Oh, there's a moth, guys. I have to get that guy out of here. Go. Okay, so sorry, I did that on camera, but they really messed up our crop earlier this year, and I guess they're still persisting. I had to kind of settle him down. Yeah, so here's round 1, doing good. Round 2, if you'll remember, these are seeds we brought from California. This is Swiss chard, and you're thinking, hey, Kevin, those are just beets, right? No, They look like beets. They're a close cousin to beets, Swiss chard are. As a matter of fact, you can harvest the roots, quote unquote, but they're going to be very tough. I tried it one year in California as an experiment. Let the Swiss chard root get big like a beet, and it was kind of elongated, lots of root hairs coming off of it, and predictably so, as long as it took to make that root for the Swiss chard, it wasn't very edible. It was sweet, but you know, you had to cut it with like a power saw. Unlike beets, which should be juicy and tender and stuff. So yeah, Swiss chard is doing good. These seeds from California hung in there for a full 4 years. You can even see here's a different variety right here. This little guy right here, it's a little bit different colored stalk. I think this might be I thought these were the ruby Swiss chard. Let's pull that one out. I don't know though. So round 1, put those in about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I don't know, we might be getting, I can't tell. We're getting close, dangerously close to getting some beets forming. Not yet though, but they're looking great. Round 1, round 2, right here with the Swiss chard. And round 3, I planted spinach the other day. So the beets have been in about 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. Swiss chard about 3 weeks, and these spinach I just planted, and they're supposed to take up to 10 days to germinate, but you can see, guys, they're already coming up. I think more came up in the last 5 minutes since I started the video. So check it out. So round 1, right here. Round 2, Swiss chard, and round 3, these spinach down here. So you can see how that's all worked. 5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, last week. And they're coming up great. And over here we got this Mizuna, this surprise Mizuna. If you remember, I piled a bunch of seeds here, brassica seeds, of which Mizuna are in the family of, are very tiny. They're not quite like a celery seed, which are like pretty much microscopic, but they're like tiny little BBs. So I piled a bunch on this 2x4 support here in the corner to film, so I wouldn't have to grab them out of a seed packet or anything. And evidently they fell off, and it's just kind of a, even though I didn't plant these on purpose, these Mizuna came up right here. As a matter of fact, let's try one of these on camera to see how they are. These are getting so thick. I'm just going to pull this one out right here. Now generally, guys, these are supposed to be in the summer or in the spring, they'll be a little bit spicy. I'm missing one there. But I'm expecting this to be very mild and a little bit buttery, so let's try it. It's very good. It's just like Mizuna tasted, my best crops tasted when I was growing in zone 9B. No, there's one I missed. No spice at all. I'm anticipating, that's good. I'm anticipating no spice at all with these, just a very mild buttery flavor. If you can imagine a green having a buttery taste, how wonderful. Now here's actually where I did plant the Mizuna on purpose, right here in this pot. I think this is a 2-gallon pot, maybe 3-gallon is what they call it. They're doing really good. Right next to it, we've got the cilantro. Guys, check it out coming up. I spilt this pot and messed up about half the plants that were left, but it all worked out because it left about 6 of them growing stronger than ever. So you see how that worked out? Okay, let's move over here. So here's another second tier crop, just like the Mizuna was a second tier crop as well, along with the Swiss chard. So beets, carrots, lettuce, and then Mizuna, Swiss chard, and tatsoi. So the Mizuna is an Asian green, as well as this tatsoi. When this tatsoi right here, part of the second round of veggies comes around and is ready for harvesting, it should have a beautiful thick rosette type, kind of like lettuce, but just even more tiers, T-I-E-R-S, of leaf, and spoon-shaped leaves, wonderful tasting stuff. So they're doing really good. That's along with the Swiss chard, and can you see those? Along with the Swiss chard and the Mizuna, that's a round 2 veggie. Here's the lettuce. Guys, remember the lettuce? Here it is. Finally, what we've been waiting for all this time. These are the ones I transplanted from the second round that I planted in the house this time, and you can see they're small. I don't think we're going to get full heads off of it. I'm about, maybe if I'm fortunate, 40 days out from our first frost, probably less than that from our first frost. I'm going to replace, oh, by the way, how do you like these covers? I used what I had. I had some 1-inch pipe laying around. I had some 3/4-inch pipe laying around, both from former owners. So generally I don't use 2 different sizes of pipe, but just 3/4 would have been fine. Just screwed it right into the side here with a couple of screws, pre-drilled those holes. You know, I drilled through the plastic and then I put the screw through the hole into the composite wood of the raised bed. And that's holding it good. So 1-inch pipe, and then we have an elbow, and then just this nut right here is a reducer. That's I had to buy in addition to these elbows because I went from 1-inch to 3/4 pipe because that's what I had. So right here, I'm going to change this design. I'm going to make this a T that comes out into the middle so I can join both of these braces together because my fabric is kind of flopping. So I'm eventually, as the cold gets closer and closer, going to get rid of the fabric cover, and I'm going to replace that with some greenhouse plastic and extend my season a little bit. So we'll see if that helps the lettuce. The lettuce was supposed to be a first wave along with the carrots and the beets. Can you believe that? Things just didn't work out. That's gardening. Anyway, I love it. It's all good. Count it all as joy, right? Just being out here. And the carrots, now let's go to those. Those are doing really good, guys. 2 rows of red cord Chantenay. I'll probably harvest those at 3 to 5 inches long. Same with these Danvers. They're called Danvers half long, actually. And after many trials, they came up with the perfect Danver. I think it's called Danver 126 because it took them 126 times to get the mixture right, the breeding right to really stabilize this carrot. So I've been growing both of these, the red cord Chantenay and the Danvers, for years in my garden in California. So right here real quick, I've got daikon radish coming up, even though it's not time for round 4 yet, the final round. And you can see I've got one, can you see it down there? Already popping up. Daikon radish, they're quite often used in cover crops. Their taproot literally drills a hole in the soil and opens it up. And market gardeners and big gardeners and farmers will just leave those in to rot over winter. They'll plant them in the fall, let them rot over winter, and it'll open up holes in the soil and really create a favorable, more air, getting more air into that soil web life and letting that bacteria and fungi really just take over. And it just helps them to flourish. So by the next spring, those daikon radish, having all died, will rot and produce a very supercharged soil for that next spring's planting. In my case, I'm going to eat these. I will be using daikon radish over here as part of what I was talking about earlier, that cover crop, which we'll get into in another video. Anyway, 2 red cord Chantenay rows, 2 Danvers half long rows, and a couple pots, and these pots are doing pretty good. Actually, they're taller. This is a Danvers, and this is a red cord Chantenay, so they're doing really good. A little bit taller than the raised bed. I don't know why. And there's our little beet friend. He moved way across town. I think they're still friends. They still talk. I don't know how that got there. Yeah, so there we go, guys. An update on the raised bed. It's fall in southern Indiana, zone 6B. It's beautiful. I just feel invigorated. I'm excited about the progress in this raised bed. This is the first, we did a garden over there with what we had to work with, flipping the sod over and just a thin layer of leaves, and it should have rested and sweetened up. We just planted right into it because we were in such a so excited to get some veggies going and just kind of recreate what we'd done for years a couple thousand miles away from here in zone 9, and it did pretty good. But this is really the first stab at doing it the way with a little more ordered and a little more good foundation, that good foundation being a good, healthy, alive soil. And I got this soil from the woods and from rotting trees and stuff, wherever I could glean it. And I am in the process of making compost. You can see my compost thing we'll do a tour of here in the fall. But that's going to be for next spring. That's kind of on the burner right now, cooking. That's not ready to be soil yet, but I've really worked hard on that. So there we go. Thanks for joining 8 o'clock Tomato Talk, guys. And this 7th or 8th round update of the raised bed, and I'm just excited, and I hope you are too, and I hope you guys are getting planting as well. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm up to 20 now. That doesn't seem like a lot, but for a newbie like me, I want to reach as many people as I can, making gardening accessible, making it fun, keeping it, I don't want to say keeping it real. That's like used a lot, isn't it? Keeping it real. Yeah, gardening can be done, guys. It is a lot of work, but once you get going, you're just maintaining it after that. So I'm doing the work part here. I'm asking you to join with me. So please subscribe if you would. I'm up to 20 subscribers. Let's go for 50 by November. That would be awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining 8 o'clock Tomato Talk. Looks great.